Hi, I'm Stan DeFreitas, Mr. Green Thumb. We're at Willow Tree Nursery in St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's talk about the history of tomatoes. Tomato, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a beautiful vegetable. Some people like to call it a fruit. Doesn't really matter, but we can tell you the history of the tomato, that it was in the Americas where it was first found, probably about 500 AD by the Aztecs. Now, of course, Europeans came to the New World. They took the tomato back to Europe, and there it had mixed blessings. In some places where they were using pewter silverware and flatware, they had too much lead in their flatware. And the rich people got what? They got sick with lead poisoning. So a lot of folks had a bad slant on the tomato. Now for the poorer folks, there's always an advantage to being poor, they used wood. And where they had wood and wood instruments to eat with, they didn't have the lead poisoning. Tomatoes really took off in Italy. In Italy, of course, it was much beloved. And of course, we think of tomatoes, we think of pizzas, we think of it as being a fruit that was much used in Europe. Now, of course, it was brought by many of the immigrants to the United States of America. And in America, after the Civil War, it became a very important fruit, or let's call it a vegetable. Some cases, for tax reasons, it was called a fruit. And some other reasons, it was called a vegetable, also for the same tax reasons. Today, we call it a vegetable. But depending if you're a scientist or not, we can call it either. But we can call it delicious. There's a number of different varieties, and we actually have millions of pounds of tomatoes that are grown in America. It's the #1 produced vegetable in America. And why? Because it's a beautiful plant that produces a great fruit for salads and many other dishes. Stan DeFreitas, Mr. Green Thumb, AskMrGreenThumb.com.